retired Sidney Weatherspoon. It's so good to be here with you, Sergeant Major. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us this evening. I tell you what, so you were my command sergeant major in Korea when I was a first sergeant, right? You were the brigade level CSM. So I looked at you as like my granddad, right? You were like,
Okay.
yeah, you took
Yeah.
care of me when I was a, look, we're always learning and always growing, and so
That is true.
you were a couple levels ahead of me, and so I really enjoyed your mentorship over there. So
Mhm.
we're gonna hang out for a little while tonight and tell some stories, and hopefully we'll have a good time. I tell you what, Sergeant Major, you sure had an impact on me, and I know you had an impact on my soldiers. You had a great reputation, and I hope we have a good time tonight hanging out. Right?
That's true. Absolutely.
Amen.
Nothing
Amen.
like
So
the good old days.
yeah, right. Where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from a place, a small town, northwest Florida, called Port St. Joe, Florida.
Oh, I know where that's at. I know
A
where that's at.
population about 2,500.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm from Dothan, Alabama. So that name come up on our news every once in a while.
Right. Yeah, but I was born in Panama City, Florida.
Okay, good,
Mhm,
good,
mhm.
good. What year?
I'm not going to tell you the year, man.
Oh man!
A,
Oh, that's great. That's
a
great.
long time ago.
Long time ago, back when men were men and sheep were scared. That's what Sergeant
That's
Major
that's
Scout
right.
used to say.
When a
Yeah.
dime meant something.
Hey, that is true. Dad tells a story about a time where he walked in a store with a quarter, and the proprietor of the store knew
Mhm,
either that he had too much money than he was supposed to have a whole quarter. Oh
mhm.
my gosh! So, what was it like growing up there in Port St. Joe and North? Look, that's just South Alabama is all that is.
Yes, yes. It's about from Dothan. I think it's about maybe 100 miles or so, if that much.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had the chance to live in Dothan for a while.
Oh wow.
So yeah, as a small child.
So, tell me
Originally,
about
my
growing
mom is,
up.
huh? Yes,
Tell me
yes.
about growing up.
It was good. I had a good upbringing and stuff. Back in the '60s, it was still kind of segregated. Uh, you had one set of folks living on this side of the track and the other one living on that side of the track. But other than that, it was good. When they integrate the school, it didn't go well, the first year, but after that, it went well and stuff.
Oh
So
wow.
uh, didn't have no major issues, no major problem and stuff. But it was good bringing up.
So you were in the elementary school when they were integrating the schools, or what grade were
I
you
was
in?
I was going to high school when they integrate the school and stuff. But that first year was rough.
Really? So look, I asked Colonel T.W. Williams kind of the same kind of thing. He grew up in Jacksonville, outside of
Mhm,
Jacksonville, and the
mhm,
same kind of thing in high school. And he said he had one issue, and all it
mhm.
took was one punch, and he took care
Yeah,
of that.
yeah,
Uh,
that's it's about the same.
oh, I
Uh,
can't. I
uh,
mean, look,
but
I can't imagine, Sergeant Major. I can't.
but I think the school went out for a whole year that year until they started having a meeting with both sides of the aisle, with the blacks, with the whites and stuff. They came to the conclusion instead of called the school I was going to was called the Washington Tigers. And the school that we integrate to was called the Tiger Shark, or the Sharks. And so they wanted to put Tiger Shark as the motto, just not put Sharks. Bring a little of the black side of the school there.
I got you. I got you.
Mhm.
And but y'all got it worked out.
We got it worked out. Had a good football team, a good basketball team. Uh, so everything worked out. After that first year, after everybody got to know everyone, it worked out very well.
Good, good. Did you play sports?
Yes, I did. I played basketball and ran track.
Oh man.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was your track event? What did you do on
I
track?
I ran the 2 miles.
Oh, okay. There
Oh,
you go. There you
so
go.
yeah, I got a scholarship for basketball and track.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
probably a
That's
place
awesome.
you never heard of, a place called the University of Maine.
No, is there? That's up
And
north, right?
it's a town called Fort Kent, Maine.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
They offered a southern boy to come up there and play basketball, huh?
played basketball and run track.
Did you go up there?
No, sir.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. So
No,
what?
sir. I decided to go to Tampa, Tampa,
Oh
Florida.
yeah. What'd you do in
Yeah.
Tampa?
Well, I tried the basketball and I tried the track and stuff. I'm pretty good in track, but I said it's not for me. And start working, uh, working with a construction company that made cabinets for the kitchen. They made cabinets for the bathroom and purse handles, wooden purse handles. This is back in the 70s. And so my job was to do the purse handle. So that wasn't working out either. I mean, I did it for a while, just to put some money in my pocket and stuff. Living with my aunt, she was a school teacher and
Right.
stuff. And it worked for about 6 or 7 months. After that, I said, "No, I can't do this for the rest of my life and stuff." So I was in a motel and I was watching television and I looked at this commercial. Back then, it's to be all you could be
Oh yeah.
and stuff. And so let me go try this thing out. So I took the test. They said, well, all you got to do now is tell us when you want to come in. Go take your physical down there. And I think Montgomery, Alabama, where you had to go take your physical. So I went down there, took the physical, passed that. And they said, when do you want to leave? I said, right now. And so they bust me up and sent me to El Paso, Texas.
How
So
old were you?
got here to El Paso, Texas. I did my basic, then AIT here, matter of fact. Came in as a old 16 hotel, which was
Intelligence.
the other side of a Juliet. So you could do the Juliet job as well as you do staff jobs and stuff. So it worked out well. I got a letter accommodation from the brigade and battalion and battery commander because I scored a perfect 500 score on the PT score.
Oh wow.
And that was, back then you had five events. And so that worked out pretty well. So I didn't have any major issues in basic training beside trying to fire that weapon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I wasn't used to when you fire back then when you fire the M16, the gas from the weapon itself gets into your eyes
Really?
and stuff into your brain. So I wasn't used to that and stuff. But it worked out well. Like I said, the only problem I had was that weapon.
Oh
And
really?
that was siege when I was firing. Now this is the story here. I was firing my weapon without my glasses. And so as I was in the foxhole, I wasn't hitting nothing. So all of a sudden the drill sergeant came to what are you firing at? You know enough? And he called me something else. Grabbed me by my suspenders, pulled me out of the foxhole with my weapon, right? And he said, keep the weapon down range. Keep the weapon down range. I'm saying to myself, you got me by my suspenders. You pulling me and stuff.
Whoa wow.
And so after that one-on-one counselor, what they used to call back then and stuff, I was perfect with the weapon. So there was no issues and stuff. And then from there, my first duty station was Germany. I got assigned to place called Weichenheim, Germany, on the outskirts of Mainz. And from there, they sent me to 2-1. Believe it or not, that was my first duty station. HHV 2-1, Weichenheim, Germany. Can you hear me?
Sorry, please excuse me.
Oh, you good? You good, man? Oh, I was talking about when I left Fort Bliss after AIT. My first duty assignment was Weichenheim, Germany. That's on that. That's from Mainz.
Yeah. So tell me about
that. I was at 20. Right then, they used to call it 21st replacement. So they tell you where you're going to go, and then they give you a little ticket and put you on the train by yourself now. So they gave me a ticket to a place called Mainz. Said someone would pick you up there. So I got the ticket, got on the train, got to Mainz, thinking someone could come pick me up and stuff. So I stood out there because I was scared to go back into the train station. So I stood out there, and we're talking about in January when it's cold.
Right.
And it was about like, I want to say 30 degrees. So I had my, all my winter stuff on and my Class A's and stuff, but man, I was cold. And no one came to pick me up till 10 o'clock that night.
Oh.
And so, you know how people come through the Bahnhof and stuff, and you see a soldier, he say, hey, listen, I'm supposed to be going to Weichenheim, I'm still waiting. They said, get on the bus. I said, listen, I'm a new private.
Right. And
plus, I didn't have no marks to get on the bus at the time. And so finally, the MP showed up. And so I told the MP, so that's how they got a hold of 2-1 to come and pick me up.
Oh, wow. So you were just stranded out there.
I was stranded, cold, hungry. Well, I wasn't too hungry, but they give you a psych lunch on the train. Yeah. So it was a bad experience, you know, and stuff, but there's something that you grow from.
Oh, amen. Amen. Mm-hmm. So Private Weatherspoon got left out in the cold. So what was the next step?
The next step, I got to the unit, reported to the CQ, and I still had that, you know, basic training. Private Weatherspoon reported as order. You know, CQ looked at me like I was crazy. I mean, the staff duty looked at me like I was crazy. He said, you know what unit you're going to? I said, no, sir. He said, what's your MOS? I told him my MOS 16 Hotel. He said, you're going to HHB, which HHB is right across the street. So they grabbed my duffel bag and told me to follow them. So I get over here to the CQ, and it's late and stuff, and they don't have room keys and stuff at the time. But yet, there's 13 people in a room.
Oh, wow.
During that time period and stuff. And so they just put me with the, they say, we'll put you with the folks that work at the BOC, which is the Battalion Operations Center, out on the tight site. And so I get in there, and this is no lie. It's 13 people in the room. Everyone in that room had a stereo. And they were just party. I'm saying, how in the hell I'm gonna get some sleep tonight and stuff. Around about, I want to say about 3 o'clock in the morning, it toned down. Everybody got up, put their clothes on, and they had to go up and do the shift work. And I went back down and talked to the CQ. They said, report to the first sergeant. And the first sergeant name was Grover Lewis. He said, well, we're going to sign you out to the BOC and stuff. And so after that process, they said, okay, now you got to go to Head Start. So I did the 2-week Head Start. Then from there, they sent me out to the BOC, and they say, okay, you're going to be an operator. But first, before you become an operator, we're going to lock you down on the type site until you pass the test. And so you had to pass, of course, the communication test. Then you had to learn the 34-1000 Delta, the 35,001 mic. And these books are this thick.
Right, right.
And so I got through it. And then I started filling my shift, and they were working shift like 24 on and 24 off. So by the time you change crew, it's already noon. So by the time you get down to your barracks, it's about 1 o'clock because you were walking from your tight site down to your barracks. And just as soon as you get in the barracks, man, it was on. Stereo blast, people trying to knock other people out to get in the shower and stuff. And so I did that for a while. And that's when I met, you probably know this guy, Hugh Smith. Hugh Smith was my first mentor. He's called Smitty, Big Smith and stuff. And at that time, they used to have, instead of sergeant, your 16 Juliet at the time was Spec 5. So Hugh Smith was Spec 5, then another 14 Juliet, his name was Utley, he was a Spec 5. So those are the guys I worked with or worked for at the time and stuff. And believe it or not, the smartest person at that time about maintenance, about anything going on in that BOC was Hugh Smith and stuff. And he taught me well and stuff. So I got to know everything, better than some other folks. And then they said, well, we're going to put you now in what they call emergency message. When you get the emergency message, you have to go to the safe, unlock it, and break the code, and then authenticate it, and send it down to the fire units and stuff. So I did that. Got promoted. I got promoted to PFC with 9 months. Got promoted to E4 with 15 months with a waiver, and I made sergeant exactly 2 years in the service.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. And so I became, the crew chief and stuff. And I extended, instead of staying over there for 3 years, I stayed over there for 4 years.
Okay.
And stuff. But to go back to the first beginning, my folks didn't know where I was at. And so they know I had joined the military. And so they went through Red Cross. I haven't talked to them in like 2.5 years. I was over in Germany just having a good time and stuff. And so they went through Red Cross. And they found me. And so the battalion commander called me up to his office. You can call your folks right now.
Amen.
So I called.
Call your mama.
Yeah. I called and talked to him. Told him I was all right. Everything is good. And that I extended another year to stay over here and stuff. But that was good learning experience and stuff.
I bet.
And then eventually from there, I got signed to Fort Lewis, Washington. It's my next duty station.
Yeah.
Got to Fort Lewis, and this was a Shap Vulcan battalion.
Okay.
So it's a different world between HIMARS and SHORAD. And so I get there and stuff. They were trying to figure out whether they're going to put me in the 3 sharp or the 2 sharp. So I ended up going to the S2 sharp for a while. Did it. I think I was stationed there for about 2 or 3 years, maybe 3. And progress, the same thing. I went to the E6 board, made E6 with 5 years in the service, exact time. And then from there, I went back to went back to Germany. And this time I was assigned to 10th Brigade, 10th 88 Brigade. Went back to the same type of thing I was doing when I was private and stuff, working on the type site. And but for some reason, I wasn't getting along with folks on the type site because you had E6 in charge of E6 and stuff. But I was a senior E6. But since this guy was a 25 Lima, they wanted 25 Lima, which was the new TSQ 73 system folks and stuff. So they wanted him to be in charge. And so we had some issues up there and stuff. And then they said, well, my CSM at the time, his name was Chase. You probably know him, Chase. Yeah. He said, well, Sergeant Weatherspoon, we're going to put you in the S2 sharp. So I worked the S2, and my job was to go and inspect documents and stuff, make sure folks were tracking their classified information, documents and all that stuff, doing background checks on folks to get their security clearance. And that's the time I met another one of my mentors, was a guy by the name Sergeant Major Mitchell and stuff. Now he taught me really how to be an NCO and stuff, because when I was working in other jobs and stuff, I was just going off the cuff. But he taught me how to take care of soldiers, listen to soldiers and stuff, and made a better soldier, I mean, if you ask me and stuff. And so I was able to grow there, and I stayed there for 3 years. Then got assignment to go back to Fort Lewis and stuff. When I got to Fort Lewis, they assigned me back they changed from 167 to 144. Back to the same battalion, but different name. From it, I think I had about 9 years in the military. At that time, I came out on the E7 list. And so I had to go to back to Fort Bliss for ANOP. Finished ANOP, came back to Fort Lewis, pinned on E7. And then they changed my MOS. That's when they was getting rid of the 16 hotels, and I think 16 Juliet also, but I think the hotel went away. And from it, I went to Fort Bliss, became a Patriot soldier. Couldn't stand it, still don't like it. And stuff. Because I wanted to become a chef or Vulcan, but they said they was facing that also. So they said, well, you're gonna be a Patriot. Here to Fort Bliss, went through the training, got assigned to 27 out to McGregor Range. Didn't have a clue about the system itself. So I had some good soldiers that walked me through the process. And I told them, ain't like I'm gonna be doing it anyways. You all the one gonna be doing it and stuff, but I need to know what you're doing and stuff. And I had some good non-commissioned officers. Had guy by the name of Ricky Hurd, Warren White, guy by the name of Beecham. Who else I had? Bailey, Joseph. All those guys worked well, very well and stuff. So only thing I had to do to make sure they was at right place, right time with the right attitude. That was my favorite word and stuff. And that October, this was 1990, that October, we got orders to push over to the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia, because I guess Iraq had invaded Kuwait and stuff. And so we were like the first one from the battalion to get on the C5 from Fort Bliss all the way to Saudi Arabia and stuff. And the story goes with this is that they say, okay, well, who we gonna put on the Afghan? And the first thing folks said, you put Sergeant First Class Weatherspoon in these folks because he's sure at. I said, so I went, Ricky Hurd, a couple more guys. We got on the plane with our little launcher station. It took it from El Paso all the way to Delaware. From Delaware, they stopped in between, and then from there to Saudi Arabia. And so we get off the plane with no concept what we need to do once we got there. There was no one there to meet us to tell us what we need to do. And so me thinking we going into combat right now, I told them to buckle up, put all the gear on, put everything on and stuff. And when the plane landed and the guy said, get off the plane, we start running, full on with weapons. Didn't know where we was going, but we just, that's the way I was trained. So we get there, we end up staying in a F-15 hangar for about 3 or 4 days. We didn't have no hot meals, just had the MREs and stuff, even though our Air Force defect was, right at the play, but we didn't know this. We just stand put till someone come and tell us what is our next mission and stuff. And from there, when the rest of the battalion got over there, then they sent us to a place called Daman Port, which is out on the outside of a place called Daharan. So it's right off the Persian Gulf and stuff. And that's what we set up for the next 6 to 7 months and stuff. Good experience. But we had some difficulties. We had lots of difficulties and stuff. We had the shore platoon attached to us. And that platoon was ran by a guy by the name of Chess. And they got other missions to move from the port to support infantry units. And so they left. And we stayed there and fought the battle and stuff until at the end. And from there, we left, went back to Fort Bliss. And I think a couple of years after that, I came down on the E8 list. And so I became a first sergeant. I think this is 1993. And I took over Charlie Battery. When I took over Charlie Battery, we got another set of orders to go to Korea and stuff. So I took the battery from Fort Bliss to Korea. We stayed over there for about 6 months and came back to Fort Bliss. I had orders when I got back to go to Fort Campbell. But the orders got changed because a friend of mine, he wanted to go to Fort Campbell. And I said, I'll go back to Germany. So I went back from Fort Bliss to Germany to a place called Bamberg. Took over a unit there, Bravo Battery. This was a Avenger Battery and stuff. So that was right up my alley and stuff. So spent time there until they deactivated the unit. And so from there, Mark Abel was the brigade CSM at the time. But when I got there, a guy by the name of Roscoe P. Young was the brigade CSM. And I had met him before because in AIT, he was my senior drill and stuff. And he was taking care of soldiers. If a soldier, I don't know if it's legal or not, but if a soldier had to re-enlist, he'd take them down range for them to get their money tax free and stuff. And so that worked out very well. And I did that for about a year and a half. And then when they deactivated, I'm thinking I'm going back to Fort Bliss. They kept me in, Mark Avery kept me at 69th Brigade. And so I just did staff work in the S1. Then I think about maybe 8 months later, I came out on the E9 list. And from there to the Sergeant Major Academy. Then, of course, from the Sergeant Major Academy, I thought I was going to get, like a trade-out job. I had a trade-out job. Matter of fact, I was doing a trade-out job at the academy. I was doing writing for BNOC and ANOC and stuff. And I was there about 3 weeks. Sergeant Major Avery called me and said, Sergeant Major, I know you haven't had a break and stuff, but we need you to go to 2-1 because 2-1 get ready to deploy. And at the time, Colonel Rossi was the battalion commander. Sergeant Major Gill, you probably know Gill, Harold Gill. He was the battalion sergeant major. So I was the ops sergeant major. So we go and he took care of Saudi Arabia and I was in Kuwait. So I took the foreign units and the 2 units in Kuwait and he had the units down in Saudi Arabia, but he was overall in charge. I'm just the sergeant major doing what I'm told to do and stuff. And once that mission was finished, I got back. I came out on the CSM list. Of course, that's when OIF and OIE started. So I took over 2-1 and went from staff sergeant major to CSM with 2-1 and stuff. But we had, let me tell you a story. Almost got me fired. When I say almost, I had the right chain of command at the time that was supporting this. We had an issue with disciplinary action in the battalion. And so we trying to get ready to deploy, but soldier kept messing up and stuff. And Article 15 wasn't working and stuff. And so I came up with this idea program called School to Soldier. So I took all of the folks that couldn't deploy, all the non-commissioned officers or the ones that were retiring and stuff, and gave them a lesson plan of what I want to do. The idea was to take those soldiers that already received Article 15, move them from their barracks, move them up to Toll Well for retraining. And I did that and got a lot of flack, man. I'm telling you. The only good thing that was good about it, that I had Sergeant Major Steve Rogers as the brigade CSM, which supported it, and Bob Wood was the brigade commander at the time, supported it. So they kept posts off my back, but the IG came out there, everybody going out there inspecting taking a look at where the soldiers were living, which was clean. They just had cots with their sleeping bags and stuff. So we broke that chain for the discipline in that unit and stuff. No one wanted to go out there to that Tober Well and stuff, but I showed them my lesson plan, what the objectives are going to be, is to get them back on track to being a soldier and stuff. And from there, we deployed to OIF, did that, got back, deployed again to Korea. Took 2-1 over to Korea. I think a year later, Steve Rogers got tapped to be the post CSM, then I got tapped 35th. And stayed there additional 2 years, and from there, 35th to 32nd. And after 32nd, it was time to go.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I mean, you just outlined like 30 years, right?
32.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's time to go. Blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
It's wild how we gloss over the alarm clock going off at 4:50 or 5:10 every
Mhm,
day of your life, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, I still wake up, same time, 5:05, I'm up
Yep.
and stuff.
Yep.
And now maybe about 9 o'clock, I'm going back to sleep.
So
But
what were you like as a kid? Were you a good student?
no, man. I did the minimum.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Back then, if you got a P, you pass. so
You
so
you were
uh
you were definitely smart and you were good in the army, obviously.
yes. It just I didn't put no focus on it. I focus more than what I was gonna do once I got out of high school versus what to do in high school and stuff. Uh, but it worked out for the best. I think, yeah. Um, wasn't no A student. When I say I was A in some areas, but C's in the rest and stuff. But not an F or a D student. D or F student. Yeah.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. So who is it that might watch this video that you might be interested in them learning about you?
Say again.
Who is it that might watch this video that you might be interested in them learning something about you?
I'm quite sure I have some soldiers that are watching this, and probably some family members also.
I know that Carradine. I know Jeff
Yeah.
Carradine. He's like
Yes,
he's
sir.
like I got a story. I got a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
My thing in the military is that the soldiers didn't work for you. You work for them. So you find out what they need or to accomplish their mission, what you're trying to get them to do and stuff. And most folks say, who took care of you in the military? But my soldier took care of me. You know, you you can have all the mental shift you want above you, but the person gonna break you or make you is your soldier. And so if they really listen to what you telling them to do or how to train and stuff, then they'll take care of you. So all my accomplishments and stuff go to the soldiers that were working under me, not for me and stuff. So I kept that concept. I had two concepts. Some folks agree with them, some didn't. The soldier, you set the tone of how you want to train your soldier. You give them let them give you some input on how to make it easier, better, and proficient. Uh, I didn't too much believe in Article 15. Now, I believe that a summarized Article 15 could do as much besides take money than a regular Article 15. So I always want to summarize. Now, if you've done something bad, then you go to even court martial or field grade or what have you and stuff. But I just couldn't see taking soldier funds and stuff for a stupid mistake and stuff. It's just gonna give you more problems anyway and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Extra training and extra duty were two
Duty,
different
yeah,
things. I definitely enjoyed a wide breadth of extra training that you obviously enjoyed with School of the Soldier
yes,
and some of the other stuff that you
yes.
did. You understand it, yeah.
Well, I learned that at Fort Lewis, and let me tell you who the division CSM was at the time. Sergeant Major Kidd.
There you go.
And so when you was a non-commissioned officer, all staff sergeants through E8, when you came on post, you had to go through a NCO course for 2 weeks. And taught you all these things, what you need to do, how Fort Lewis works, how you work with each other and stuff. So that was a good program, though.
Education's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
you,
what? So tell me about your legacy. Who is someone you're proud of? Do you remember a soldier or a leader or some particular situation that you're particularly proud of?
I was proud of a guy by the name of Ricky Hurd. He was one of my. I got him as an E4. He made sergeant major. Now I do have these two soldiers that are still in the military that I had. Well, I had one when she was a private. Now she a sergeant major and stuff. So she went from E1 through E5 with me. Then she went drill sergeant school. Then she went airborne school. She's a jump master now. Well, she's always been a jump master, but she's a jump master. Her and the other young lady and stuff. So they both are sergeant major. So I was so proud of them too. But almost all of the soldiers that worked under me that stayed in the military, most of them retired. In fact, all of them retired either sergeant first class or sergeant major and stuff. So I would like to think I had a little bit to do with it and stuff.
Amen.
But I had some good soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talked a little bit about different folks. Tell me about an officer maybe that maybe mentored you or helped you out along the way.
I had well, if you go back to when I first came in the military, I had a 3 officer that I worked with on a tight site that gave me a little, this what you need to do and stuff, being that young and being a private or E4. Guy by the name of Biff Baker. Went to Ranger School and all that stuff. He was good. He was my first, officer I liked and stuff. Then another guy, he was Japanese. His name was Lieutenant Okuda. He was also a Ranger. And then, of course, another guy by the name of Lieutenant, he's Captain Ford. And a guy, I'm talking about when I'm a young soldier now. A guy by the name of Captain McWilliams. Now he got in trouble because this is back in 2001. They were having a little bit race problem and stuff, whereas the XO called him a name he hadn't been to call him, and he knocked him out up in the battalion headquarters. And so he went back from being a captain because he was prior to enlisted, went to the pay grade of sergeant first class. Now he was a good mentor, and as a sergeant, I had a lieutenant by the name of what's his name? Lieutenant Bells down in Fort Lewis. It's pretty good. And then I had you probably know I like the guy by the tall guy. His name was Otis Ferguson. I like the way he handled things, being the 3 and stuff. And believe it or not, when I first went to Fort Lewis, guess who was the battery commander at the time? General Lennox. He was Charlie Battery commander, and his first sergeant was named Kemp and stuff. So, that's been a while back.
Oh yeah, well that was back in the early 40s, right?
Yes, sir.
what were you? So you were obviously good with PT and all that, being an athlete and stuff, right? You had no problems with PT, right?
No, never had no problem with PT. Never had any problem with training, believe it or not, and stuff. You tell me what you want me to train on, I get the book, and that's exactly what we're gonna train on. We'll make some adjustment and stuff, but soldier knew that we're not leaving this location until we up to snuff and stuff. I had to do my Avenger battery like that, because back then you still had to do it, what they call aircraft recognition and stuff. You flip them things up there down in the basement in Germany and stuff, and some of them had problems with it, but they stayed in that basement until they got it right.
Hey,
and stuff.
I
But
spent many hours doing VACR, many
yes,
hours.
sir. But never had any major problem for us in getting soldiers trained up to do what they need to do and stuff. Had some disagreement how they was being evaluated, but you could adapt to that and stuff.
Amen. Amen. So if you had to go back and do 1 year again, what year would you do in your military career?
Platoon sergeant.
Oh, really? Where at?
I like platoon sergeant at Fort Lewis. I was a platoon sergeant in charge of the 16 Juliet, which had the far radar.
Oh man, that's a big mess on the Gamma Goat and everything.
Gamma Goat, yes, I love that job, man.
Oh wow.
I watched those guys. We go to NTC, how they pass the early warnings and stuff. But anytime they want to take a break, back then you had all that smile gear on and stuff. Anytime they want to take a break, they just shoot their radar on and set up everybody mile gear. And so they pause the conflict until they rekeyed everybody's mile gear. But I love that job there and stuff. Yep.
Oh, that's great. That's great. The old forward area alerting radar.
Radar, yep.
Oh wow.
Yes, sir. I mean, the thing break down, but man, I'm telling you, them guys have to love what they do. And stuff. Yeah, but if any rank that I would like to have back again, it would have been platoon sergeant. I love that job.
That's neat. Yeah, that's like as a SHORAD platoon sergeant, especially what you have 2 radars as a platoon.
We had 8 radars.
8 in your platoon?
8 in the platoon.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, we had the whole.
Wow.
We had the whole battalion radar. Back then, all the radar was assigned to HHB. And so when a unit goes out, we attach them to with the firing unit. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. The old FAR radar, and then we had the TDAR.
Yeah, that came after the FAR. Yeah, we worked with that too, but I didn't like that one.
Oh yeah. So tell me about the family. Tell me about those that pray for you and they lay their head down at night. I see a lot.
Well, of course, my
dressed up.
My sister. I mean, she was her husband. My other sisters. Seemed like the whole St. Joe prayed for me, especially when I had to go to war.
Amen,
and stuff.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My sister had her pastor to call me one time when I was in Kuwait at the time before Desert Storm took off and stuff, and prayed for me online and stuff, and that was good.
Amen.
Yeah, you got to have them prayer warriors, man.
Amen, right? Yeah. They say there's no atheist in foxholes. Tell us a little bit about your spirituality.
Say again?
They say there's no atheist in foxholes. Tell me a little bit about your spirituality.
Well, we had some now and stuff, but I said folks have to pray for themselves as well as you have to pray for them and stuff. Now you're gonna hear me praying, especially when those missiles was going off and stuff. And you could be whatever you want to be, but I'm gonna pray.
Yeah.
For both of us, all of us, yeah. Yeah. We had some. We had a couple.
So tell me about that. Tell me about times when you were worried about something hitting, or something coming in, or you were in danger, or you had to help a friend.
Well, we was in this is during Desert Shield, Desert Storm. We was when the first missile went off, the first Scud and stuff. I think it went into Alpha Battery area operation. And at the time, that battery commander was Captain D'Antoni. Well, I think at Bravo Battery, Captain D'Antoni. Yeah. And it seemed like the missile just broke apart. But we was in our bunkers and stuff. And so once they had said, "Oh, clear," now we still got our pro mask on and stuff. Once they said, "Oh, clear," I tried to get a soldier to go out there and do the what they call the kit, the NBC thing, right? Listen, that soldier said, "No, I can't do that, man. It's there maybe gas out there now." No. I said, "You're supposed to be the NBC guy and stuff." And so I tried to get someone else to do it. Just I'm being, who wants to go out there and volunteer and do the kit? Couldn't get no one to do it. And so I said, "Okay, tell you what, I'm ordering you right now, get your stuff, go out there and perform the kit. If not, we're gonna be moving some sandbags up in here." So the soldier get up, go out there with his kit, him and his builders. They did the MEC kit thing and all clear, but I still couldn't get 2 soldiers from out of the bunker. Them soldiers end up staying in that bunker all night long with their mop gear on and pro mask until the next morning.
Oh, wow.
I said, "Wow, man." And the good thing is that they had already said all clear anyway and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. But it was hard to get a soldier to go out there and perform that task and stuff. Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I think the other thing that scared me the most, I think, was during that same time. That's when that last missile, matter of fact, it's coming up would be an anniversary on February 27th. Now we was on Daman Port, and where the last missile that Saddam Hussein fired landed on a National Guard unit from Ohio. Now, mind you, I was coming back from the PX during that time and stuff. Everybody thought the war was finished and stuff. Units started breaking down their equipment. Our equipment was taken down and stuff. And so turned over to the paint shop. And so when I get back to the tax site, the missile had just went and hit that location, which is about maybe 2 miles or 2 Ks from where we was at and stuff. And so this is when I almost lost it. So I'm on the tight site and stuff, trying to, because they said, hook your equipment back up and stuff. And so I'm trying to do this by myself because everybody else was living on the barge. I'm the only one that living on the tight site. I lived on the tight site throughout the whole war and stuff. And I'm trying to get the EPP and all this stuff hooked up by myself until somebody else come on the tax site and stuff. And so my battery commander at the time, his name was Captain Humphrey. And so he gets on the tight site. I'm on top of the EPP, right? Who told you all, the blame this? And I'm already heated, right? I said, you jumped off the site, jumped off the EPP with my weapon. He said, all right, Sergeant Witherspoon. All right. And I'm angry, blood coming out my eyes because I had, I knew some folks that was over there and stuff. And we walked through that monster and stuff. Then, after that, it was done.
Oh,
But
wow.
that's just, man, I had never seen you so angry and stuff. But yeah, that was probably my most frightening time in anything during that time.
Right.
And then this is a funny story with doing OF1. As the Scud missiles is coming in, I'm outside, looking for, you're not coming to my location. And so my driver thinking he's seeing a missile's coming into my location. So he grabbed me and pushed me to the ground. I said, what's wrong with this idiot? So I gave him the hook, right? He said, Sergeant Major, it's coming in right now. I said, Muso, that's a light, man. It's not a missile. Missiles don't have lights on it.
They was worried about you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So if you could think, you already talked about being at the right place at the right time with the right, attitude.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
You talked about using the manuals and that the soldiers would do whatever you train them to do. Those were two things that I learned from you. That was definite training tools. If you were gonna talk to those that come behind you, those that love you, if you could give a message to fellow Americans that are younger than you coming along, what might you tell them? What might Sidney Weatherspoon leave with the next generation?
Well, I would tell the leaders first is it's not about you. It's about those young men and young ladies that their parents want to see them train and come back safely to their home and stuff. Now that's a lot. That's a lot of responsibility. Especially when you're leaving, you tell someone, parents and stuff, say, I'm going to take care of your child or your son or your daughter. We're going to go ahead and do this mission and we'll all be back and have a beer once we get back and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think once you make it about yourself versus you trying to get to the next pay grade and stuff, then your soldier will lose trust and focus on what you're trying to get them to do and stuff. And a soldier will look to see what you do, how you handle stuff. And then if you tell them, say, hey, I want you to go outside and put the tent up and stuff. While I sit here and drink my coffee. No, you get off your butt, you go out there and help. See, I help soldiers and stuff. Because I got to live in a tent just like they do. And so I go out there and train with them, help them set stuff up. Sometimes I go out there for guard duty and stuff just to give my soldier a break because I know how it is and stuff. And soldiers respect you more if they see you out there doing the same thing that they're doing versus sitting back where you can be sitting back in cool, warm area when it's cold outside, or you could be sitting in a cool area when it's hot outside. And in the desert, it's like 112, 115, and you move from spot to spot. You got the camouflage, everything. I even did it as a CSM. So it didn't bother me to go out there and be a soldier, because that's all you're doing, being a soldier. So I would say be a soldier at all times. And don't take soldier for granted. And stuff. Ask them how to do it better. And stuff. I wasn't afraid to do that. Hey, if you got a better idea how we could do this, then do it. Show me and stuff. We can write it in the manual or what have you and stuff. So
Awesome.
that's what I would say. You got to have faith and confidence in your soldier, and the only way to do that is you train them the right way.
Amen. Amen.
So yeah.
So before we close this out, I want to make sure that you call your unit to attention
Mhm.
and salute and sign out before we get off here, okay?
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna put up a little slideshow I did for us. Let's look at a slideshow.
Okay.
Sound good? Here we go. The sound won't work the greatest. Here we go.
Oh yeah, that's in Korea. Yep, that's my girl. Yes, sir.
That's the 82nd Airborne Chorus singing that song right
I
there.
know.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to work
Well,
that up for you, Sergeant Major, and share it with you. Thanks so much
man, I'm
for.
telling you, I'm glad to be a part of this
Oh,
and
it has
stuff.
been so much fun, right?
Yeah. Uh, and I can appreciate it. I'm quite sure everyone else appreciates what you're doing and stuff. We're gonna tap you and stuff. Uh, so I would say to you, man, bless you and your family. Now, you still in Texas, or
No,
you said?
I'm down in Alabama, down in the southeast corner of Alabama, eastern lower Alabama, East LA is where I'm at.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we go to a place called Prattville. That's where my wife father's from. So we go there
Yeah,
every
I
year,
know
and
that
stay a
place
couple
well.
days. Yeah.
Yay,
Yeah.
cool, cool. So that's up near Montgomery.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Well, why don't you call your unit to attention and then give us a good salute and sign out, and we'll call it a night.
All right. Battery. Octane. All right. Thank you, Father.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Sergeant Major. You're
uh,
amazing. I love you, man.
I love you too. Be blessed. Ah.